It's not time to go quite yet. In a few moments, I will present the Graduate Award in the class of 2019. Before that, though, I would like to make some brief remarks to the graduates themselves. As I anticipated today's celebration, I found myself going back and forth between two realities. The first is the time we have spent together and all of the hard work you have done. The second is the one that commences today. They might seem like two distinct realities, but to separate them as such, I think, would be a mistake. Rather, I propose that what lies before you now what lies behind you now, is a foretaste of what lies before you. Let me explain. 2 weeks ago, on the last day of classes, we honored Mrs. Kathy Burry for her 30 years of service to Trinity School and for her role in the founding of Trinity School in the Twin Cities. I contemplated that moment quite a bit, both personally and professionally. As a Trinity alumna myself, I owe a debt of gratitude to Mrs. Burry for her role in my education. I told you all during our celebration about my grandmother's death a number of years ago. She lived a long life, filled with joys, and what always seemed to me a disproportionate number of sorrows. Yet I knew her as a strong woman in firm possession of resilient joy. As I got into my car after her funeral, wearily resigned to the long road home, a memory flashed through my mind. This memory was of Mrs. Burry's abiding affection for Shane, of her insistence that it mattered what makes a person a hero, and of my 7th grade perplexity at her weeping over Shane's departure. I had been trying to pinpoint my love for my grandmother, and in that flash of memory from 7th grade, I did. Hero was not too weighty a word for the independent Italian woman who moved to North Dakota to marry a German farmer and raise a family. It was just the right word for my grandmother, who lived out St. Paul's exhortation, "Let love be genuine, hate what is evil, hold fast to what is good." Crafting Mrs. Burry's honoring a couple of weeks ago and hearing other alumni's stories about their similar experience in her literature and composition class compelled me to pick up the book again. If you know the story of Shane, you probably remember the old stump. When Shane arrives at the Sterrett homestead, young Bob is immediately captivated by this mysterious stranger who has ridden into their valley. As Bob's father proudly shows Shane around their homestead, they happen across the one blemish that remains on the land he has worked so hard to settle: a large, intractable stump. One thing leads to another, and an axe is soon in Shane's hands. Bob recalls Shane's attack on the stump's biggest uncut root. Quote, "It was something worth seeing. When Father worked on that old stump, that was worth seeing too. He could handle an axe might well, and what impressed you was the strength and will of him making it behave and fight for him against the tough old wood. This was different. What impressed you as Shane found what he was up against and settled to it was the easy way the power in him poured smoothly into each stroke. The man and the axe seemed to be partners in the work. The blade would sink into parallel grooves, almost as if it knew itself what to do. And the chips from between would come out in firm and thin little blocks." End quote. Bob is young. He admires Shane for his physical strength and is intrigued by his mysterious past. Though he does not yet understand it, Bob recognizes something profound in Shane. Shane possesses not only skill and strength, but he also wields them deliberately, with discipline and a clear aim. As the story progresses, a shadow comes over the valley, and Bob's father, mother, and Shane must discern how to respond to a neighbor who employs deceptive, cunning, and brutal tactics that threaten to uproot their lives and the lives of their fellow homesteaders. In a pivotal moment in this struggle, Bob realizes he is growing up. He has a moment of recognition. The battle he is witnessing is for something much bigger than for the acquisition of land. As the true nature of the decision that lies before his parents and Shane comes into focus for Bob, so does his own maturity. During your time here, you have grown in knowledge and skill. As Mr. Murphy said, you have taken significant strides towards becoming mature learners. You have done so within a community that is committed to pursuing the truth, creating beauty, and practicing goodness. As such, our time together has been a foretaste of what lies before you to now go and do. Your education here has been limited and specific in one sense. You have worked to acquire ordered knowledge and cultivate intellectual skill. With these, you have laid a foundation for lifelong learning. This is the broader expanse that opens before you today. As we glimpse the wisdom of the Creator as it is reflected in His creation, we can grow in the desire to live according to His good order and bring about goodness in our lives and the lives of our neighbor. As we grow in knowledge, we can grow in love. As you continue to pursue the truth, seek genuine beauty, and strive to practice goodness, you will find that learning continues in every context and takes on many new forms. My hope is that as you discern truth and beauty, especially in the midst of struggle, you might also glimpse, as Bob did, the strides towards maturity that you have taken during your time here. You must now allow the knowledge and skill that you have obtained to be partners with you so that you might discern what is at stake. You must now employ them with discipline and a clear aim. Seek the truth so that it might guide your actions. Seek out those who will help you find it. Be on the lookout for beauty, and when it crosses your path, give thanks. Discern the ways of goodness and act according to them, so that you might be, as others have been to you, a witness to all that is good and true and beautiful. Congratulations, and God go with you.